And welcome back. Thank you, SeatGeek. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring this episode. Shout out. Now,
both of them.
Love you both, of course. DFA Manfred. I forgot about that part. We didn't say that earlier. Get that out of the way.
We need to get merch and just have DFA, Manfred, and Liberty Media on it. Just have a shirt that says DFA.
DFA. If anyone knows about some merchandise companies that we could possibly reach out to and see if we could get something going, if you'd be interested in purchasing our merch, let us know. And if you know how we can get that thing set up, let us know. That would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd love to do that. So here's the main part of our episode. This is kind of something that I put out on Braves News 101 on Instagram. Last week, I asked you all to send me your hot baseball takes, and we're going to buy or sell. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Is this you'll see. So how this is going to work is that Luke has not seen any of these yet.
I have not seen these. So whatever these hot takes are, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, because I have no clue. So
how this is going to work is I'm going to say one, and then Luke's going to be like, I buy this take, I sell this take, and explain why. And then I read out the next one, and then I say if I buy or sell it, And then this is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. This is the first time we've done anything like this. So if you want to see more or hear more of this in the future, let us know. We'll see how this episode does, and if it does well, we'll do a part 2. So we're looking forward to this. So I don't have them pulled up yet, so I'm not prepared. So Luke, pressure's on you.
Pressure's on me. That's
entertain our listeners.
Well.
Oh,
Lockout.
5 years ago today, this is kind of crazy. The Braves signed Rex Brothers to a minor league deal. Wow.
Rex
Brothers. That's a name you probably haven't heard in a little bit.
What a time to be alive.
So not only is it the Talkin Braves' first birthday, it's also the 5-year anniversary of us signing Rex Brothers, Braves legend. Very excited.
Talkin Rex Brothers. Come on the pod, Rex.
I'm on the pod, Rex. Let's
do it. Rex Brothers. If you guys see that would be fun. Rex Brothers.
So I'm going to be. I don't know what we talk about, but we'll find something if we actually are able to pull it off. Rex, if you're out there listening to this podcast, I don't know why you're here, but please come on the pod if you're out there, if you're listening. So here's also another thing, is if you sent me a hot take, okay, if I don't read it, it's not hot enough, I'm just going to say, I'm going to say two of these.
Guys, come on now.
I'm going to say two of these hot takes, and you'll probably see why these aren't really hot takes. The Braves will re-sign Freddie. Not a hot take. Another one. Manfred is a clown. That's not a hot take. That's a fact. It's kind of crazy. But we will start off this one. First hot take. This one comes from Luke Simpson. Barry Bonds should not be in the Hall of Fame. Luke, buy or sell?
Sell.
Should not be. So.
I sell as in he should, right? Yes.
Sell. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes. You can say what you want about steroids. We've been over this, I think, a few episodes ago, but say what you want about steroids. the dude won 3 MVPs before he was on juice, and he's a top 10, if not top 5 player to ever play the game. Debate a wall, whatever. Do I like the guy? No, not really, but to say if you're going to put, I don't know if we had this discussion, but if you're going to put Poppy in, you got to put other guys in and either leave all of them out or put all of them in. I think that's really where the fine line of the Hall of Fame with steroids comes to. So,
I don't think we've recorded since, the Hall of Fame ballot was announced, actually. So I guess we could talk about that a little later, but yeah, I mean, I think this is, I sell this take as well. I think Barry Bonds, I mean, people are saying he's the best player of all time. That can't be further from the truth. I mean, he's a very good player. He's the best power hitter of all time. But, all around, you're just like, you got to put in so many factors, like defense. Would you consider a pitcher the best player of all time? Because it's so different from hitting. But I mean, say what you want. Also you got contact hitters. Ty Cobb and Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams, Babe Ruth. It really depends on what you consider to be valuable as a player. But Barry Bonds is one of the best players of all time, but he's not the best. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Take number 2. This is from Joey Loroksky. I hope I'm saying that right. Acuna wins MVP and Fried wins Cy Young this year. I'm going to sell this take. It's not out of the question for Acuna to win MVP. I mean, Max Fried, Cy Young. I mean, there's a slight chance. Okay, but here's the thing: Ronald Acuna, we really don't know when he's going to return from the injured list. We're not sure how well he's going to be able to move around. Obviously, we've been seeing clips of him in the batting cages recently. He's looking good. That swing is still beautiful. But how well is he going to be able to?
Best swing in baseball.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but how well is he going to be able to run? How well is he going to be able to snag fly balls on the run? There's a lot of things that go into that. But of course, if this season is 15 games, we're hoping that we have at least some games. Then maybe, if we start in September, there's a chance that Acuna plays a full 15-game season and he wins MVP. But Max Fried, Cy Young, I just think there's just too much talent in the National League in terms of pitching that I don't see Max Fried winning a Cy Young. I mean, he has a chance in the next few years, but that's if DeGrom leaves and goes to the American League. And, there's always a couple of those guys who just come out of nowhere. It's just where these guys come from. We saw that with Robbie Ray last year in the American League. But, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of great pitchers, but I don't think Max Fried's a Cy Young winner. I'm going to sell his take.
Yeah, I agree. So I think, like you said, I think, the chances of Ronald winning MVP when he comes back, like you say, we don't know when that is. It's like he's definitely has. I mean, I think we all seen it firsthand. Ronald Acuna is one of the best players in baseball and is an MVP candidate every year. But I mean, when you got guys like Jacob deGrom, and realistically, when Jacob deGrom stays healthy, he's winning Cy Young every year, and that's just that. I mean, that's just the fact. I mean, if that dude stays on the field for 30 starts a year, he's winning Cy Young every year, and that's just the fact. So, Max Fried, great player, love Max to death. Come on the pod, Max. We love you. But yeah, sell.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob deGrom last year came in 9th in the Cy Young Award voting, and he appeared in 15 games. He pitched less than half a full season. And he finished 9th in the Cy Young. I mean, look at his stats. They're gross. They're disgusting. But, like, I mean, it's insane. Like, I'm looking at the stats right now. I've seen these, like, 3 times before or more. I still can't believe, like, this guy's even a real human being. But he's the best player. It's not a far, it's not unheard of. Like, it's not just crazy to say, like, Jacob deGrom is the best player in baseball. Like, he's close.
Yeah.
He's darn near close. So,
I mean, very. I think you look at, I mean, if you put Jacob deGrom up against Mike Trout, you know, that would be an interesting battle. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen. I mean, I feel like we never the NL East never sees the Angels ever.
We're going to be seeing them in July.
I mean, you got the best, probably two of the best. You know, argue they might be the 2 best players in baseball on the same team, and they're coming here.
We lost you for a second.
Well, am I back? Hello?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Hello? Am I here?
Hello.
Maybe. Sorry.
Technical difficulties. By the way, I mean, in case you haven't heard, we are the most professional podcast in the history of podcasts. So this stuff never happens. I promise you, we never have technical difficulties.
Never happen, guys.
We're the best. We're the most professional podcast out there. We got our Wi-Fi, our recording equipment, it's top notch. We spent thousands of dollars on this.
This is thousands of dollars of equipment right here. This mic, so much money. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but I don't even know where I was talking about. Jacob deGrom facing Mike Trout, and I don't know where I was going with that. So
we need to see that matchup more often.
We need to see. That's the MLB's marketing is bad sometimes. It's, you know, say what you want. The MLB's marketing of all players is just bad. So, yeah.
All right. Next hot takes. This is from Gage Olson. Trevor Story will either go to the Mariners or the Phillies.
I'm buying. I think very possible he goes to the Phillies. They need a shortstop. They got Gene Segura at second base. Mariners I could see as well. Less likely. I think they're more likely to land Chris Bryant. But they definitely do need a left side of the infield. See retiring. So I'm gonna say buy, but not overpriced. I'll buy though.
I'm gonna say buy too. I could definitely see both teams just seem like really good fits for Trevor Story. But I've been saying all along I feel like he's going to the Astros, but there's also there's a very good shot that he goes to the Mariners or the Phillies. I mean, they're teams that need a shortstop, so it just makes sense, but also makes sense for the Astros. If you include the Astros in there, 100% buy. I'm like an 80% buy right now.
Oh, yeah. But I think at this point, it's been so long. I really think you have no clue where any I've seen people trying to predict Carlos Correa. I'm like, dude, I have no clue where I have with complete certainty. I cannot say I don't know where he would go, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue. So
it's tough to predict where people are going to go because there's 30 teams to choose from. But
besides Freddie Freeman, come back to Atlanta, Freddie.
Please, come to the pod. We'll discuss everything.
I mean, this no disrespect to Matt Olson. I think Matt Olson's. Imagine your backup I mean, imagine your backup option being the second best first baseman in all of baseball.
And then people are still upset if you get him. So.
People are still going to be upset if you get the number 2. But Freddie, come back to Atlanta, please. I think all of Braves country will be very happy.
They will be very happy. Or you could just sign a minor league deal right now. They'll be very happy too. You know, that could happen right now. All right. Next hot take from our good friend Jeffrey Salvatore.
Jeffrey.
Pirates win the NL Central. I'm going to sell this. The reason's pretty obvious. So.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it as well. No disrespect, Jeff. The Pirates are a team that, they have a decent farm system. I think they got guys, they had the number 1 pick. They took Henry Davis. They have guys coming through the system. Not yet, though. I think 2024, 2025, that's when you'll start to see. I mean, maybe even next year. I think you're going to see a much improved Pirates team than what you've seen over the last few years. But division winners, no. I'm going to give that to the St. Louis Cardinals. So
I mean, there's the Reds are going to be bad next year. So, like, it'll be interesting to see who's going to finish last. But, not that many people care about who finishes last. But, yeah, especially, like, there were a lot of rumors before the whole lockout crap about them trying to trade Brian Reynolds. And if they trade away Brian Reynolds, there's no way they don't finish in last, in my opinion. Like, they're only, like, legitimate, like, really, really good player right now.
Alex Anthopoulos, you making calls? Brian Reynolds on the market?
Hey, I'd be down.
That would be something. Anyways, off topic.
So this one for Luke is from Jack Bryan. Fernando Tatis Jr. is grossly overrated.
Grossly? Wow.
It's an interesting adjective. It's a very interesting adjective.
Grossly overrated. So Sal, grossly overrated. That's a bit harsh considering, Fernando Tatis is, say what you want about his defense. He's, he makes errors. He makes great plays, but he also is very errant at times with the glove. But overrated, I think he's rated outright. I think he's very, there's no doubt, very good player, and will have a great career. So I'm gonna say sell.
I would say sell as well. I mean, if you just took out the word grossly, say just Fernando Tatis Jr. is overrated. Yeah, I mean that would, but grossly that just takes it another step up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I gotta sell this. Like this, like grossly overrated. Don't think so. He's if he stays on the field, he's a perennial MVP candidate. Like, and what he's doing at his age is it's super special. Him, Juan Soto, and Wander Franco, and a lot of these super young guys, Acuna included, just tearing it up. It's so good because these players are the ones growing the game of baseball.
The future of baseball is in really good hands. The marketing of baseball should be, if you do it correctly, in good hands.
Yeah.
So,
but so baseball is in a very good place with these players, but we're in a lockout.
Not at this exact moment.
Not at this exact moment, but
if we were baseball,
yeah, fingers crossed we can get something. It can get going.
Everything on paper for baseball is great. Get the season started, and you take off with, especially now with the globalization, how recognized Shohei Ohtani is, not only in the United States but globally in Japan, other parts of the world. I mean, this is Shohei Ohtani is exactly what baseball need if they couldn't market their players already for some odd reason. But Shohei Ohtani has opened the door to limitless opportunities for the MLB to take. So
You sounded a lot like Jeff Passan blasting Stephen A. Smith. Not gonna lie.
Let's go.
That was a good little rant. All right, so I will say, Kerwin, longtime listener of the podcast, longtime supporter of the.
Shout out Kerwin.
He sent another hot take about Barry Bonds should have been in the Hall of Fame, but we already discussed that, so we're gonna move on. This is from J Hair Zero. For me, Braves repeat without Freddie Freeman.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
So he actually said with or without Freddie, but like with would really be a hot take. So without Freddie Freeman, I'm just going to do it at that.
Ooh,
Braves repeat
hurts,
without Freddie Freeman.
Soul. You see that right there? That hurts. Sorry.
This sucks to be talking about, but
dude, this is the fact, dude. I really hope we're not talking about this in 2 months. I hope we're happy with what we're talking about in 2 months. I mean,
who knows if we'll even be talking about anything in 2 months. But
going back,
I will say that without Freddie Freeman, this is a 100% sell. Freddie Freeman is just plain and simple the heart and soul of the Atlanta Braves franchise right now, or maybe not right now, but for the last decade. Ever since Chipper Jones retired, he's been that guy. Maybe you make an argument for a couple years after Chipper, Brian McCann, but ever since that happened, ever since McCann went to New York, it was Freddie Freeman all along. So for the past 7 years, it's been Freddie Freeman. And he has brought this team from, a vastly underperforming team in 2014, which led to the rebuild. He was there for us throughout those really terrible years of the rebuild, which turned out to be a great success. But without Freddie Freeman, I don't see this. I mean, we're a playoff team without Freddie Freeman. I mean, obviously it depends on who we replace him with. If it's like Matt Olson, yes. Anthony Rizzo, maybe.
Possibly.
But without Freddie Freeman, the Braves are not repeating. I'm sorry.
I'm selling as well. And like you said, he's the glue. Freddie Freeman's the glue of that clubhouse and has been for forever, for as long as I've been a Braves fan my whole life. When Freddie came up, got drafted in 2007, playing with Jason Hayward in the minor leagues, yada yada. You get it, all the stuff. He's been a lifer Brave. He's the glue, and while I think we have a very likely possibility if Freddie doesn't resign, we get Matt Olson. I'm gonna say so.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to skip over the rest of the Barry Bonds stuff because this was when I asked people this was probably not the best day to ask people for hot takes because it was the day that Ortiz was inducted and Barry Bonds was left off and Roger Clemens was left off, and there's just not the best day to be asking people by any means. So my mistake there, but I'm sorry if you did ask a question about Barry Bonds or send in a hot take. So this is from Kai Meeks. For Luke, Madison Bumgarner is not washed.
Ooh. Now this is one of the more
intriguing. I like this.
This is probably the most interesting take we've heard so far. So what Kai Meeks?
Kai, I don't know if that's his full name. For some reason, like when I'm trying to click on their name, I just get loading for 30 seconds. So I don't know if they have a full name in their bio or whatever. I could have probably figured that out before the episode.
Shout out Kai Meeks. This is a great. This is the best one I think we've had yet.
Also,
Madison Bumgarner is not washed.
I like also like may I add, like getting hot takes that aren't Braves related. Like we talk about the Braves all the time on here. Talking about other teams, it's fun. I mean, it makes things more interesting, really.
I'm buying this. He's not. He had the first year or was that last year? Whatever year it was, where he had a really down year with the Diamondbacks. I think that was his first year.
2020. It was 2020. It was a short season.
Yeah, where he had just inflated ERA. It was very bad. But I mean, you look back with the Giants. Is he in his prime still? No. That's very obvious. His prime was when the Giants were winning the World Series. Washed? I don't think he's washed completely. He's not as good as he used to be, but I think he's got enough left in the tank. He threw a no-hitter against us, so what are we to say anything? But Madison Bumgarner, I'm not washed. I'm buying.
So this one, I'm just like, I don't know what to say, like because like it depends. Like he's sort of washed, but he's not like entirely washed. He's not like Matt Harvey washed, who's like the worst pitcher in baseball all of a sudden. Matt Harvey's completely washed, by the way. But this year, a 4.67 ERA, a 7-10 record, a 4.63 WHIP or FIP, sorry. But his WHIP was kind of down. It was 1.182, which is still not great by Madison Bumgarner standards, but it was still like decent. But 2020, I mean, anyone can have a bad 60-game stretch. I mean, look at anyone in the history of baseball. Everyone has had a bad 60-game stretch. It happens. So take it with a grain of salt. But if you're just looking at, his full seasons since what year did he really take off? I'm going to say 2010, even though, he was a 20-year-old. From 2010 to 2019, 162 game average, 14 and 11, 3.14 ERA, 3.32 FIP, 1.111 WHIP. Over a 10-year stretch. But there towards the end, you saw a little bit of his stats just start to kind of inflate a bit. Like, not as much as what we've seen with him in a Diamondbacks uniform. But I think that he's still a solid pitcher. He's not what he used to be. So I think I'm going to sell this take because, like, I think that wash just means, like, no, I don't know. It depends on, like, what do you consider to be washed?
What are we defining as, like, what is defined as, like, is it mean like if Albert Pujols is washed?
Yes.
That's how I think of, like we know Albert Pujols is one of the best players to ever play the game of baseball. Up there, I mean, I don't know how far up there, but he's washed. He's that's what I consider washed. I don't know if Bumgarner's necessarily at that level to say, like, oh, this guy straight up just stinks now, because he doesn't. I don't know what his 2021 stats were. I don't know if you said them, but
no, 7-10, 4.67 ERA, 4.63 WHIP or FIP. Sorry,
not prime numbers by any means, but he's not going out there giving up like 10 runs a game. So
he threw a no-hitter this year. I mean, I'm going to count it.
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, I'm 50-50. This one kind of stumped me, but This one is for me, from Garrett Tyler, 65. Padres versus Braves, NLCS. I'm going to buy this. I can see this happening. I in my opinion, I don't see any world where the Padres underperform as much as they did this past season. I mean, obviously down the stretch, that team chemistry just, I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, you saw Machado and Tatis and everything going on in that dugout. Jace Tingler was just not the fit there. And didn't they announce their new manager?
Yeah, Bob Melvin.
Oh yeah, Bob Melvin. That's right. See, I'm like I cannot keep up with anything Major Baseball related from 2 months ago because that was 2 months ago. I forget things. Bob Melvin is a fantastic manager.
Anybody know who the A's? Do the A's even
Mark
have
Kotze.
a manager?
Mark Kotze.
Oh yeah, see, Mark.
I don't think we've talked about that.
Kotze.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bob Melvin is a really good manager. And it's kind of going to be weird to see him not in an Oakland Athletics uniform. But
oh yeah,
Bob Melvin knows how to manage a Major League Baseball team. I mean,
I think he's up. I think you could put him up there as, he was
the
manager of the Athletics, and he sent in with that roster and that team and that configuration. They were competing every single. They might not have been a star-studded team, but they were competing, and I think Bob Melvin's up there as probably he's definitely a top 10 manager by far, easily. Borderline top 5. I don't know that. Would that be guys something you want to see? Top 10 managers. I don't know. I don't know if that's even a thing. Is that a thing? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Top 10 owners coming soon.
Number 30, Liberty Media. Just kidding.
All right.
They're not.
Padres versus Braves. Do you buy or sell? NLCS.
I buy. I definitely. I'm buying. Yeah. There's definitely two talented teams. Very. They got young guys. They got the good mix of veterans, great managers. So, it's always going to be hard getting past the Dodgers. And even the Giants. Nobody knows how good the Giants are really going to be this year. Will they take a massive tumble? I don't know. I think that division is, kind of, it's outside of the Diamondbacks, and
Rockies.
The other team, Rockies. Yeah, Rockies are so
See, we don't even know what the divisions are anymore.
But Giants, Padres, Dodgers, those three teams are just going to beat up on each other. So it's going to be a grind. And if they get to the NLCS, they'll earn it. So I buy them. I could definitely see it.
Cool. Next, from Colin Helms.
Colin, shout out.
Our boy, Colin. Luke, Ozzy Albies is a top 3 MVP candidate.
Oh, wow.
This is hot. This is hot.
Yeah, this is
Thank you, Colin. This is hot. We asked for hot takes. This is hot.
So no, love Ozzy. Will love Ozzy forever. But selling, I think the main thing I see with Ozzy is strikeouts. It's, he's, we all know about his aggressiveness, and we love that at times, but you hate that at times. But MVP candidate, I could see it in his future, but unless he makes a huge flip this year with strikeouts and better contact wise, I'm gonna sell this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it as well. I think Ozzy Albies, you said the strikeouts, but I think it's just his lack of plate discipline. He swings at so many pitches outside the strike zone, does not walk. His on base percentage is very low. So you're saying like his OPS plus, which is one of my favorite statistics, is like 100 is considered average. I think last year, although he hit 30 something home runs last year, that his OPS plus, I believe, I haven't checked on this, but I believe it was only 105, so 5% better than the average major league hitter. And looking at the stats, you're just like, how is that possible? But it's because he doesn't walk. And his defense is very good. He steals bases. He's fast. He's a very, very good player, but he's got to start walking more. He's got to start laying off pitches above his head, because you're seeing him like hit those things back in the press boxes all the time. I mean, we got to see him work on that plate discipline. I who am I to say that? But just as a fan, I would like to see Ozzy Albies stop swinging at that garbage. I mean, even though he somehow fouls off most of them. But I'm going to sell this one. As you said, I can maybe see it in the future. From Mitchell Picton. Picton? I don't know how you say it. Actually, this is not a hot take. Just here to say Hank is better than Bonds. Thank you.
Very true.
From Braves Vibes, Mike Harris is called up and wins Rookie of the Year. I'm going to sell this one. I don't think he's going to be – I think if he gets called up this year, it's going to be later on in the year. I don't see him getting called up. I feel like if you win Rookie of the Year, I think you're with the Major League club the whole season. Mike Harris is not going to be called up unless we have injuries to Cunha and Ozuna. I mean, we don't know how our outfield's going to look next year, but I mean, is it possible? Yes, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm selling as well. With how crowded that Braves outfield is already, we don't know what's happening with Jock and Eddie Rosario and Jorge Soler. Like you said, he's probably not going to be called up early on in the season. If he gets called up at all this season, could I see in the future? Absolutely. I think Michael Harris is going to be really, really good. I think he's probably my favorite outfield prospect. No disrespect to Drew Waters. Love Drew Waters, but I all the intangibles of Michael Harris are outstanding. But the outfield's really crowded for the Braves. Ronald Acuna's coming back. You have Adam Duvall already. Nobody knows what's happening with Marcell Ozuna, or if he's even an outfielder anymore. If he's a Brave, I don't know. Whatever. But
we don't know.
We don't really know. But yeah, I am selling this. Big time sell, by the way. Big time sell.
Yeah, this one is for this one's for Luke. Hayden Watt. Jose Altuve grows to become 6'5" before opening day.
I'm buying.
Buying, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we're both buying.
If it does happen, can Jose send me whatever he send me some whatever he was using? Send it my way, Jose. Put it. I'll send it my address. Put it in the mail, because I'm technically I'm taller than Jose, but not by much.
Just by a little bit. So that one won't really count because it was a bit out there silly. But this one is from none other than Jordan Rager.
Jordan,
the main man. Go listen to his stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. Phenomenal. If you're into country music, go give him a listen. Please do.
Yeah,
our good friend. So
song came out. I don't know how long ago it's been, but Memories.
Memories is a
great song. Great song. Banger song. Go give it a listen.
I mean, it's not the only banger.
He's very, very talented. If you guys,
it's not the only banger.
Or maybe you're not in the country, but he's a big Braves fan. Big, so.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just go give him a follow as a Braves fan. Doesn't even have to be music related. He's a great dude. So. Yeah.
Also, one of the good ones is the first song I ever heard from Jordan Rager. I absolutely love it. It has a reference to Chipper Jones in it. So what's not to like about that?
Oh yeah. Listen to that in the car today.
There you go.
Love it.
Love it. Jordan Rager, The Hall of Fame and its voters have become a complete sham.
Is this mine or yours?
That's yours. I'm not gonna count the last one. This is yours.
Buying. Easy buy. This is the easiest buy. The writers, baseball, you know what? I don't know what.
Baseball Writers Association of America, something like that.
That crap. I've been over this on my TikTok videos that I've. It's a joke. I mean, the fact that we're having, and I mean this, like, I think, should the writers have a say? Absolutely. I think, you know, but I think it's about more than, you know, the writers sit in a room and type on their computer or write something out. And this is who we're having vote for the greatest players to ever play the game of baseball. And I think it was an interesting thing. Somebody brought up the fact that players should vote. And I like that. I thought that was an interesting thing. You think, you know, how would that work? I don't know, but I think it's a sham. It's definitely, it's not, it's very flawed. It's very stupid. So I'm buying this one.
I buy it as well. I think, like, you got to have some of the younger generation of baseball writers. You don't want all these, like, old men. I mean, no offense to these old men, but, like, these old school baseball writers. I mean, these people didn't even put, like, Fred McGriff in the Hall of Fame. Dale Murphy's not a Hall of Famer. Don Mattingly's not a Hall of Famer. You know, there's a lot of, you know, like, what are we doing? There's so many great players that are so deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. But these writers, I mean, it's just like, what do you not see in these players to not vote for them? I don't. It blows me away. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I hate the whole process is just ridiculous, and it causes problems year after year after year. You know, there are very few occasions where it's just like they do a good job. You know, But you know, Barry Bonds having 10 opportunities to get in the Hall of Fame after, I mean, I don't, just look at those stats. Just look at those stats.
Just look up Barry Bonds' BR page and just look at the Baseball Reference page on Google, and
I mean,
you'll be blown away.
It's unbelievable.
The ridiculousness of, I mean,
if you can do that,
I've quite seen a Baseball Reference page like that.
Mm-hmm. Like, steroids aren't going to let. I mean, they're going to make you hit a baseball further, but it's not going to make you hit the ball.
Yeah, you still.
Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer.
You still have to hit a MLB player's fastball, best fastball.
You're hitting off professional pitchers too, so I mean,
it's not like something magic.
We shouldn't sugarcoat what he did on a baseball field, because he put something in his body.
Yeah.
No.
Which we don't condone, by the way, but
don't. If you're listening to this at home, kids, if you're listening, don't do this. But like, Barry Bonds, it was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
So this one is from myself because I had to.
You sent one to yourself?
No, I didn't send one to myself. It was just like, I wanted to put this one into the episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't. I wouldn't submit something to myself. But this one is for you. I mean, Mark Teixeira should have at least gotten enough votes to stay on the ballot.
Oh, stay on the ballot. I'm buying. I think that's very fair. You know, it's 5% to stay on the ballot, correct?
5%. Yeah, he got one vote.
Yeah, he had one
vote.
One vote, really?
It's ridiculous. I mean, if you look at his stats, it's kind of.
I know the guy's not a first ballot by any means.
No, not even close. But,
not even close. But I mean, yeah, that's I'm not even that the fact that he got left on the ballot didn't really, or he didn't stay on the ballot didn't really, you know, the fact that he only got one vote that's really what surprised me more than anything.
Yeah.
The fact that he only got one. I mean, who can we know who the one who's the they show all the ballots, don't they?
Yeah, I can find out, but
that's a lot of digging into this.
That's a lot of digging, and we don't want to bore you.
Yeah.
But you buy or sell? Oh, you said buy, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is my own hot take. I'm buying 100%. Like, if this guy didn't have a bunch of injuries down the stretch, I think from 2012 to 2016, he battled a lot of injuries, like a calf strain, a season-ending wrist surgery, various ailments in 2014, a shin fracture, neck spasms, and a torn cartilage in 2016 until he retired in 2016. So this is on Wikipedia. I'm just reading this on Wikipedia. In each season, from 2004 to 2011, you got to think that's set. That's 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11. That's 8 seasons in a row. He hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. 8 years in a row, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. He is only the 5th switch hitter in MLB history to reach 400 home runs. And he had 1 vote? I'm just spitting out facts right now, but I think he should have. I mean, is he a Hall of Fame? I mean, in my opinion, he is close. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer by any means, but to be left off the ballot after 1 vote, just 1 vote, I don't. I don't understand, but he also won 5 Gold Gloves. Can I put that out there too? 5 Gold Gloves. Mark Teixeira's accolades are pretty darn good for him to be off the ballot after 1 season or 1 year on ballot. So I hope
that would be. I love Mark Teixeira.
Mark Teixeira, honestly, Braves legend too. Spent about a full season with us. I mean, across 2 seasons, because we traded for him and then we traded him away, a year apart. But his stats for the Braves were unbelievable. I mean, I don't have him pulled up, but Mark Teixeira, I mean, I don't know how this guy fell off the ballot that fast. I thought, yeah, for sure he's at least going to stay on. I don't think he's ever going to get in, but he should get a lot of looks. I think if you're looking at it next year and no Ortiz and no Bonds, no Clemens, Teixeira's staying on 100%. Have you seen the Hall of Fame class next year? It's weak.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame class next year is really bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's
2 years, it's a different story, but we'll talk about that in 2 years.
Yeah, it's sheesh. All 2 years, man. It's a long way.
Hot take for Luke. Actually, no, I guess I'll do this one because I think you've done the last 2.
Right, yeah.
This one is from Nate Skoronsky. The playoffs will be expanded to 29 teams, and the Phillies would still find a way to not make it. Bye. This one is my favorite one so far. This is what we are asking you guys to send us. This is
love it.
Amazing. I don't know how the 2019 playoff is going to work, but I'm buying this.
Buy. Easy buy. City of Philadelphia. Just, they'll always find a way. Always find a way.
Like this one, Nate. This one is from Unfit Umbreon. Interesting username there. For you. Starling Marte will prove to be the best addition to the Mets team next season, not Max Scherzer.
Quite honestly, I'm buying because you look at Starling Marte, while he's getting up there a little bit older, this is a guy that led the National League in steals.
Major League Baseball.
Led all
Because he's been both leagues.
In steals at the age of, I think he's 33, 34.
Oh my God. He's
so
old.
He's up there in years. So the fact that he's stealing 46, 47 bags a year and still hitting almost, I don't know if he hit 300. He was close to 300. I know that. And then
really good. I
think he's a 20 homer guy, and plays a solid center field. Starling Marte, while he's on the Mets now, very underrated. And I loved him when he was on the Pirates. And, I hated facing him when he was on the Marlins because he always got like 5 hits against us for some reason. I'm buying. I think even with the signing of Max Scherzer, Max is getting up there in years. Will we see a decline of Max Scherzer? I don't know.
Eventually. Eventually, it's gonna happen.
The mentality of Max Scherzer is just crazy, but I could definitely see Marte being the best player, the best signing of the Mets offseason. So
yeah, I'm going to buy this as well. I think that I think Starling Marte, he hit 310 last year, by the way, which is like for you all out there who have been following baseball for a long time, you're just like 310. That's kind of low, but like this era of baseball, kind of, if you like batting averages, this era just sucks for you. And like, honestly, I never thought that I would be saying 310 is like one of the best in baseball, because like I miss guys hitting like 330. I miss those days. I miss the Miguel Cabrera Triple Crown days. Like those days may return at some point, but
there will be kind of day. I think Juan Soto might be the one guy to hit like close to like 340, 350 at one point in his career, because he's got that kind of talent. I mean, eventually somebody will be up there. It's just about, there are not as many players nowadays that are, it's all about launch angle now and home runs, and because that's what pays the big bucks. So
it doesn't necessarily correlate to winning a lot of games. It's just money. I mean, which, I don't really like the fact that it's like home run, strikeout, walk. It's like those 3 true outcomes. I know everybody talks about that, but it's players like this. If you just get a couple of these guys on your roster, like Starling Marte, who gets on base, steals bases, gets a lot of base hits, and then your big guys come up and hit a 3-run homer, that helps you win games. You got to get on base if you want to win games. You're not going to win a lot of games hitting all solo homers. So, I really think that it is important to, that we have more players like this, like Starling Marte, who are these more line drive guys, possibly like ground balls, beating out infield hits. That's fun. I think he's sometimes, I don't know if he still does this, but drops down a bunt for a base hit. I know, like, some people out there probably just clicked off the episode, but but like it's true. Like sometimes, like I just wish that players would do this more often, just because like getting guys on base, that's fun, that's exciting. At least we're getting balls put in play. I'd rather watch a guy like try to get thrown out trying to leg out a bunt single than watching a guy strike out. That's more fun to watch as a baseball fan. It is more fun to watch. It's the idea. So, I mean,
I want to give a shout out.
This is completely outside the point that I'm like trying to make here. I'm just saying, like, the Mets. Okay, Starling Marte is a great player, but what I'm saying is Max Scherzer. Like, if you look at the Mets pitching staff last few years, Zach Wheeler, Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, those 3 guys are past their Mets days. And Max Scherzer's kind of the one replacing them. It's not like he's just kind of like filling in those guys' shoes, which they've done before, but they still somehow lost a lot of games because they're the Mets. I mean, I feel like that Max Scherzer he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Don't get me wrong, but like I feel like they've had top starting pitchers in the rotation before, and they still, didn't make as enough impact to make them a big time contender. Of course, 2015 made it all the way to the World Series, lost to the Royals. I mean, just think about that for a second. The Mets and the Royals made it to the World Series a few years ago.
2015 was wild, man.
That seems extremely wild. That's like the most random World Series matchup in recent memory. But I mean, I think that the Mets lineup got a whole lot better. I mean, it wasn't just Marte, Mark Hanna as well, Eduardo Escobar. Was there one more? I'm pretty sure there was one more. I don't know. It's hard to keep up, but I think starting Marte, an absolutely great ad. I buy this take. I think Marte does have the potential to be the best addition to the Mets next season. So we're going to do a couple more. Let me find a good one. Ooh. So this one is for me, I guess. With the automatic strike zone coming to the minors next season. Sorry, I can't speak. With the automatic strike zone coming to the minors next season, for some teams, it will do good to the point where it is introduced to Major League Baseball at the All-Star break. Now this one is interesting because it's just like, honestly, we don't even know if we'll have an All-Star break, first of all. But I don't. Automatic strike zone, the robot umpires, they're not coming to Major League Baseball. At least not this year, not yet. They've got a long way to go. And honestly, I would hate to see that in the first place because it just takes away from framing, and it's just a bad idea. Like Manfred's just full of bad ideas. I mean, it's kind of just comical at this point. Like it's kind of I mean, where does he get these ideas? But automatic strike zone coming to Major League Baseball next season. Buy or sell, Luke?
Sell. I mean, that's all. Not much really to say there. That's a sell.
All right. This one is a really hot take. Jose Abreu is one of the best run producers in the last 7 years.
In the last 7 years?
7. That's this one is very specific.
That's very. I mean, I buy that. That's
okay.
I mean, he's been up there as an RBI leader. Pretty much ever since he came over to the White Sox, or he went to the White Sox when he signed the international deal. I mean, I don't see why. I think he led the league in RBIs last year, and then I think he was up there this year as well. He's been up there almost every year. He's one of the best run producers for sure. So I'm buying.
I buy this as well. I think Jose Abreu doesn't get talked about at all.
Very underrated excuse me, offensively, very underrated.
We'll just do one more. In a lockout shortened season, Julio Rodriguez gets called up to the Mariners and wins Rookie of the Year. This is me. Okay. I'm buying this. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is arguably the top prospect in baseball, and like make an argument between like him, Adley Rutschman, Bobby Witt Jr. There's a lot of great talent in the minor league level. Julio Rodriguez could be a generational talent. Him and Jared Kelenic are going to be unbelievable together.
That Mariners outfield is going to be really good. You got Jared Kelenic, Kyle Lewis, and Julio Rodriguez. That is going to be not fun for other teams.
Yeah. It's going to make it even harder for the Angels to make the playoffs.
And then this is, I think, because really in our lifetime, the Mariners have never made it the playoffs. You know that? In our entire lifetime? Or I guess
1 year.
Well, we were
We were
like,
newborns.
2 months old. 2 months. But you really count that? I mean, I guess kind of, but like they have a really. I think they probably have one of the best, brightest futures out of anybody right now in baseball. I think they do have the brightest future in baseball right now. So
Okay. Well, I know I said that was the last hot take, but this one is just too good. I gotta do this one. This one is this one's the final one, and then we'll talk about some other stuff going on. Cody Bellinger. I mean, anything Cody Bellinger related with hot takes, it has to be good, right? Cody Bellinger takes out every ounce of frustration that he's got over the last few years, and he hits 300, 45 home runs, wins MVP, and comeback player of the year. Whew.
He hits 345 home runs.
MVP, comeback player of the year. That's what, we're ending on one. We're ending on a really hot one. Oh, I mean, it's you. It's you.
I'm thinking. I'm selling because I think that is I think he's gonna be very good. I think he's, after this year, I think he's gonna make a big comeback. I think he's gonna be very good player back what he was in MVP. Not quite MVP form. I think Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger will both make a comeback this year to, I think you'll see glimpses of what they were in 2018, 2019. That was one of the best MVP races I've ever seen. I mean, that's my opinion, but that was so much fun to watch. And I think they'll both return. Not quite 345 bombs in 2022, but I think you'll see a much improved Cody Bellinger than what you saw in 2021.
So I'm going to sell this as well. I think that, yeah, of course he can put up MVP numbers. He's done it before, and he's won MVP before. But the last 2 seasons, it's interesting because you're just like, I feel like, the whole home run celebration against the Braves last year tore up his shoulder, and we don't even know what happened there. But he really took off there in the postseason this year, or this past year. And he looked like the Cody Bellinger of old. And, as he progressed throughout the year, you saw him take those strides to look like Cody Bellinger, like what we're used to seeing from him. And yes, he has not been good the last 2 years, of course, but 45 home runs, 300 average. That's a stretch. Could he win MVP again? Yes. Could he hit 45 home runs? Yes. Could he hit 300? Yes. Is he going to do all 3? No. Sell.
I think 345 bombs for any player, whether they're coming off of Freddie Freeman has never even. Freddie Freeman he's hit 300, but he's not come close to the 45 home runs.
So what were his Cody Bellinger's stats when he did win MVP? Let me find out for you. He had a negative 1.5 WAR last year. Woo. So 47 home runs, 305 average. So he did it. Could he do it again? Yes. But is he? No. So that's our final hot take. So thank you, everyone who submitted those. We got some spicy ones, and I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. It makes it fun. It gives us stuff to do in a time where there's nothing happening. So we do appreciate it. Anyways, another news. We got to talk about the lockout in a second, but before we forget, Camden Yards is getting a bit of a new look next year. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes, I did.
They're moving the fences back, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know if I wonder if that's going to help the Orioles or hurt the Orioles more.
I don't. It's not. It's not.
Will their hitting decline more than it already was, or will the pitching increase due to the fact that Gleyber Torres won't be hitting 17 home runs against them a year? Or Gleyber? Was it?
It was Gleyber, yeah. It was Gleyber. And Gary Thorne was just like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Every single time, it was just like, "What?" I miss Gary Thorne being announcer of the Orioles. I don't know why they ever got rid of him, but they did, and it's not Orioles baseball without Gary Thorne. So, but I mean, you got to feel for some of these right-handed hitters, Trey Mancini and Ryan Mountcastle, two very, very good players for the Orioles. Orioles have some pretty darn good players on the offensive side. Cedric Mullins being one of them, and also I got to mention he was battling Crohn's disease last year as well. That was something that came out.
I did see that. I saw that.
And he had the only 30-30 season last year. I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean, it was absolutely tremendous, and I absolutely like
Cedric Mullins. Very underrated.
MVP candidate last year. Can he do it again? I don't know, but like he stopped switch hitting, and we saw him do that last year. It was tremendous, and him doing that while battling Crohn's disease, and that's awesome. I mean, and I had to bring that up. So, mad respect to Cedric Mullins for sure. But also, like, back to the Orioles, just overall. Mancini and Mountcastle hit a lot of home runs over there last year. Mountcastle, Rookie of the Year candidate last year. Trey Mancini battled cancer. What's up with the Orioles and these things? They're battling everything over there. It seems like no other team has really been battling, illness like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless you want to count the Marlins' entire team getting COVID, but this is like remember that was fun in 2020 when the Marlins almost ruined the season, like a weekend of the season.
Yeah, good times.
Good times. Remember those days. But it'll be interesting to see what this does to Ryan Mountcastle's, Trey Mancini, these right-handed hitters on the Baltimore Orioles. So it's only in left field. It's going to look a little bit kind of similar to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a little bit of a weird outfield shape, but we'll see how it goes. We don't know how it's going to go yet. So we talked about the Hall of Fame. We kind of talked about that with some of our hot takes. But the lockout situation, here we go. We had to talk about this before the end of the episode. So
had to.
What's the latest? It's not good.
Not great. Jeff Passan sent out a tweet. I will read it for you guys now. Major League Baseball today requested immediate assistance of a federal mediator to help resolve the sports lockout. Source told ESPN under the request, the federal mediation and consultation service would help assist with the proceedings. So that's a lot to take in there, but basically they're adding there's going to be a third party to come in the negotiations and basically try and help, because apparently they can't do this on their own, because Manfred's like, oh, wait, the players actually are holding strong and not giving into this crap for like the first time ever. And he's like, wait a second. So, yeah.
So I saw this, and this was interesting. Like the last time Major League Baseball did this was in 1994. Buster Olney tweeted this out. So normally we don't really trust ESPN besides Jeff Passan, but here we are. But the last time MLB hired someone to help them come to an agreement was 1994, a year where they didn't have a World Series. So Buster Olney really instilling a lot of hope in these baseball fans. I'm telling you, like he's really making us hope that there's going to be baseball. But they really shouldn't have waited 42 days after the lockout to start talking. And they probably should have started negotiating, maybe 4 years ago when you had time to really discuss this stuff.
It sounded like a
Why would
good
you
idea.
wait? Why would you wait this long? Like, why would you wait until like the year of?
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean, we don't know, but knowing Manfred, I'd assume they waited.
Who can even?
So Jeff Passan, a lot of these insiders, a lot of these experts are just like, a delay of spring training, the regular season, everything involved in that. The delay seems inevitable at this point, unless over the next week some miracle happens.
Hey, we're fingers crossed.
An act of God.
I doubt it, but dude, I hope they just surprise me. They just say, wait, dude, I cannot wait for that tweet to say that the lockout's ending. Hopefully that comes this year.
I read an article. It's just like if there is no Major League Baseball in 2022, there's no chance Rob Manfred remains commissioner, which is like there's a trade-off there. But like, I'll take no Manfred, but like I want baseball.
Imagine how much money they would lose if no baseball was played.
And I'm still also thinking like Max Scherzer, who's one of the big head guys in the Players Association. He's making what, $45 million next year? He's going to be losing a lot of that money if he can't get these negotiations going. If he can't, and obviously they're also talking about it, like what are they saying, like non-economical issues, which is just boring. Like or only I don't even remember. Non-economical issues like drug testing. They're talking about drug testing, and they can't agree on that.
More important things.
Like there's like I also don't understand. Like a couple days ago, they met for 90 minutes. Okay, look, 90 minutes. Like that may seem like a long time for some people, but like at the same time, there is billions and billions of dollars at stake here. There is so much more at stake than just 90 minutes. Like they need to be like trying to work this stuff out together, day in, day out. Get this done. Like you're day by day, you're losing fans, you're losing interest from the younger generation of fans that you need. Baseball is in such a great spot with these young stars: Wander Franco, Shohei Ohtani, Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna. You're in such a great spot. And then this is we're threatening to not even have baseball next year. I mean, it's
a joke.
It's ridiculous, and they didn't have to implement this lockout. Rob Manfred did not have to do this, but he chose to.
And then he put a letter to baseball. I didn't want to do this. Yeah, okay, Rob.
I mean, you're literally the only one who wanted to do it. You're the only one who said, "Oh, let's implement a lockout." He's the only one. I mean, owners too, but like, Manfred's in charge of that. So, say what you want about the owners, but like Manfred is negotiating on behalf of the owners, and Manfred is the commissioner. He's the guy in charge. The blame, it all trickles back down to the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred. It's terrible. It's beyond frustrating as a baseball fan, as someone who's followed the game of baseball pretty much as long as I can remember. And there has been a time in professional sports, in these 4 major professional sports, where something like this happened, a lockout happened, and an entire season. It happened in NHL, and I think, 2004, 2005? An entire NHL season was gone because of this nonsense. I mean, I'm not a hockey fan. I don't really care, but like it's happened before. We can't let this history repeat itself in a different sport, our sport. Our
sport. This is our sport.
So, I mean, you gotta I really want to know, like, after these meetings, I want to know every single time who is the first one to be, which side is the first one to be like, okay, we're done. Because whoever has been saying that at the end of the meetings, it falls on them. You know, I don't know if it's players. I don't know if it's Manfred. I don't know if it's.
And
I don't know which side it is. But
I would love to sit on one of those meetings and just
listen in on what the heck is going on with our sport.
Part of me wishes like they should just broadcast this somewhere on TV and just. I would like forget classes, man. I'm watching that. That's all that I'm.
You know,
that's the primary focus.
I mean, at this point, it's. I mean, both sides are going to have to give in at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for the players that they are not backing down, because what they're trying to do is completely fair and it's completely understandable. But I mean, it's creating this situation where, like, you know, honestly, I hate saying this, but I really think the players need to back off a little bit, because they're not going to get everything they want. There's some things that they want that they need to just drop, because with the way things are going, we're not going to have a season. So, I mean, this goes for Major League Baseball too, but both sides need to just. Why can't we just play with the rules that we had previously? Like, can we just do that? I'd take that. Except DH.
Anything
except DH. Just bring baseball back.
That's actually something I haven't over this, but that the DH is pretty much it's a done deal. It's going to happen. So if you guys haven't seen that already.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anywho.
Manfred Rant Part 5. There we go.
There we go. There's Part 5, guys.
No, really.
Coming at you soon.
So, happy birthday to us. I don't know what to play ending the episode, but do you have any ideas?
I would say happy birthday, but we'd get copyrighted, so we can't really do that.
Can't get copyrighted.
Oh, that's true.
Uh-oh. What are we going to do? I have no idea. Let's do never mind. I don't know. This is tough. I really.
Just do a clip of our first episode of us.
Oh, let's just do the very
first voiceover or the very first intro of our.
Oh no!
That was a year ago.
I don't know if I've listened to this since we uploaded it.
I don't think I think I've maybe listened to like 2 episodes. I hate listening.
Me too.
I hate listening to my voice. We appreciate you like listening to our voices, but
yes, if you have been here for the last year, we just wanted quickly before we end the episode, thank you so much. Yes. Thank you to all of you who have followed us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, who've just listened to our episodes. We do appreciate it. Season 2, we're looking forward to it.
Keep it going. Let's keep the journey going together. We're year 2. Who would have thought that 2 kids texting in a group chat would turn into what it has a year later? So,
and honestly, like every single time we record, I'm just like I always, or like we're about to record, like I'm looking forward to it. This is so much fun for me, and
I love it.
And I love interacting with you guys. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So I mean, please do, if you want to talk baseball, reach out to either of us. Everything is in the description. Go follow us. And let's see how far we've come. This is going to be the first little bit of our very first episode 1 year ago today. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Do that too. Everything is in the description. Use promo code Braves News on SeatGeek. Go check out Anchor if you want to start a podcast. And until next time, my name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke Hardin.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we will catch you all in Season 2, Episode 2 next time. See you guys.
Peace, guys.
It is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let Luke explain.
First off, it's free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
This was how we started
wherever you get
episode
your
1?
podcasts. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. It's super easy to use. It's what we use. It's fantastic.
Sorry, you're going to have
If
to
you
listen
just
to this
want
again.
to make your own
the way.
podcast, talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're
Let's
passionate
skip
about.
again.
Hello and welcome to Tomahawk Talk. My name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke Hardin.
And welcome. This is our first episode. This is a little introduction for what is to come. This is going to be an Atlanta Braves-based podcast, and we're also going to talk about news around Major League Baseball and then some. So I'm looking forward to it.
Bye.
I'm really